Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
Welcome in. Despite not many matches going on this weekend, we got a shit ton to talk about. So we'll get to it.
Well, it's the end of the full suite of games. So yeah, we do have a little bit to talk about.
Right. Yeah.
Be light on the back
more to
end,
do with that.
Yeah.
It's more to do with that, less so to do with like the fantasy thing or anything like that. But yeah, so in the spirit of things, let's get cracking.
Hell yeah.
Find us in your favorite spot where you get your podcasts, download, rate, review. Let us know why you found us. And if you want to share it with a friend because you think that our stupidity is their brand of stupidity, please do so. Okay. What you got? Oh, you got one of those. Yes, to be fair. Yes. Yeah, once I run out of these zero gravities, that's my next stop.
It's quite good.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it for a second. So make sure you grab yourself, grab George a coffee, our friend, the Fantasy Rugby Geek. Those of you that are winding into your final TRM weeks are going to probably want a little bit of help because it's a matter of it's little things that are going to make the difference because there's going to be a lot of things in common with people picking their teams this weekend in TRM, and George will have some good tips for you. I can promise you that.
And I'm pretty happy to see that. I'm sorry, not. Was it, yeah, didn't I? I think I beat George so that I lost. I avoided the Sacco.
Oh yeah,
I do have to say.
I don't know what our forfeit would be, but we'll come up with something next year.
Yeah, as I think that's a pretty fair thing for the Champion Yanks League, right? That's a pretty good. If Geek, as great as he is relegated to a Sacco. Good competition, real good competition.
Yeah, I think it speaks highly of the competition.
Yeah, nothing. George is great.
Yeah, that's
Geek is great.
And
I didn't win that sack. Went one for two. This one.
Yeah,
anyway.
And of course, grab your TRM upgrades. Support the Restart Rugby because that's huge. I'm really becoming a bigger and bigger fan of Loose Heads. Lewington is an ambassador to Loose Heads.
Awesome.
So I was like, oh, that's a handsome looking fella. Oh, I know that is. That's Lewington. So, yes, support Restart Rugby and all that they do for the players and support the players. Black Lives Matter, as always here. There is no room for racism. It's another day, another incident for Simi Pam, unfortunately, just dealing with assholes. So what else is new, unfortunately, for her? And it's just a complete crock of shit. And it's, the worst of it is it's a double they double down because it's not only racism, it's misogyny. And it's like, fuck you, dude, go fuck yourself.
Very fuck you. And the booing of the English team. I mean, can we also put into perspective the incident on the pitch, and how much these players are putting out there when they go, to play especially for their countries.
Oh, you mean Christian Eriksen for Denmark?
Yep. Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Like
scary stuff, man.
You talk about it and it's like you mention it and even then you don't really believe it, but it's like, yeah, you could die on the field just going out there. You never know what could happen. You're risking everything. And I think that in context with people booing because players are standing against racism, it's like they're not just entertainment. They're people living their lives and they're treated like this. Mm-hmm. And then, you treat them like that before they go on a field where they're risking themselves, and entertaining you. It's bullshit.
Right. Yeah. And, even look at like Anthony Watson, who doesn't agree necessarily with the Black Lives Matter movement itself, but understands the sentiments behind it and still chooses to take the knee because yes, he is against racism. And
pretty simple.
I think it's a pretty straightforward concept. And if you're not against racism, then pretty much you're for it at this point. And that's really all, that's just pretty much what it comes down to. And I'm not necessarily a huge person, black and white, there's always gray, but that's really not one that I'm.
There's certain things where it is literally black and white.
Yep. Correct. I agree. We are opening up our second tier of Champions League. If you haven't heard, we got 5 or 6 names to put up. We still need a couple of you to fill them in. So get at us, and we'll make sure that you get yourself a spot. Lots of fun with this one. Like just the banter is absolutely brilliant. Like it is the one thing that'll make you laugh, especially in those dark days where it's cold.
Yeah, I'm realizing that
I hate this.
Yeah, our Champions Yanks League won't be the same after we have 2 weeks left with this. It feels like it's been
long time,
right? Crazy.
Yeah, we've been going at this since November.
Good group of guys.
Yeah,
it's gonna be weird when it shakes up a little bit.
Yeah, but we'll have another year to shit talk each other, and then we'll cycle it around. So away we go. News cycle, player movement. The fly half exodus at Leicester is a head scratcher. So many guys. So Diaz Bonilla, Zach Henry, and McPhillips all leaving. We talked about Zach Henry last week, and it really is just like, what are you planning to do right now? Do you have somebody in the academy that we don't know about that you want to promote, or do you have somebody coming in that, again, you don't? You're just keeping it under your hat? Like something there needs to budge.
Yeah, like how many games is George Ford going to miss, and then who do you have? Who else?
Yeah, right now the answer is nobody.
Right,
honestly, like I can't think of who steps in.
Yeah, they'll have to. They'll have to pull someone in, but I don't know who they're gonna who's available at this point.
Right. Like I know Brett Herron's leaving Quinn's, but we saw Will Edwards fill into that 10 shirt a couple weeks ago and didn't do so bad. And obviously Marcus Smith is their golden boy number one, but you got to be ready for him to miss time for whatever reason it may be.
Yeah.
So if for nothing else other than the fact that he needs a freaking rest,
right?
So yeah, you got to have an answer. It doesn't matter who it is,
especially if you want to compete, right? Like that's yeah. I don't know.
Because you can't fall away in those autumn and Six Nation periods. That just
Leicester can't afford that. They're not good enough to take a shit, for
5 weeks at least.
At least over a quarter of a season. Let's put it that way. You can't afford to have nothing in your arsenal there.
Right.
Too many good teams, and
the forwards aren't going to be able to win you every game, man.
Right. And the other 15, 16 games, you're not good enough to win enough there to coast. So
yeah, no coasting in this league. It's rare.
No,
it's very rare. So a guy that you and I don't necessarily have a huge amount of admiration for because he was kind of a dope, but I'd never wish poorly upon somebody to the point where I want them to get cancer. And
it was purely rivalry and the fact that he beat the crap out of our guys and was kind of a dick about it. But Lou Stanfill, we're with you, bud.
Yeah. So it's
in your corner.
Good to see him fighting.
Yeah.
Good to see him fighting. Yeah. Things that you don't realize happen when you're in the middle of a COVID pandemic is shit like this, Right. I know people that had kids and I'm just like, whoa, time out. When the fuck did you have a kid?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is something I wasn't aware of. And obviously this is something he probably kept under his hat for quite a while. I would too if I were him, so I don't blame him. But yeah, I do wish Stanfill well, and I hope he's able to beat this thing because cancer sucks for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. So
fuck cancer.
Yeah, that's the big number. That's the big number one right there. Fuck cancer. Ronan Kelleher was called into the training squad. Emphasis on the training part for the Lions. Probably coming up for next weekend with Japan. They're looking to make sure that they can fill that.
Right.
So I mean, but it does tell you what's on Gatlin's brain should somebody from the current Lions hooker arsenal get hurt. So that's yeah. So he was one of my picks for hooker. So I'm not sad about that. I think he's very dynamic, and Leinster have done well to develop him. So that's a thumbs up for me. I'm not going to complain.
Right.
I like it though.
No quarrels with that whatsoever.
Yeah. I don't think any of the.
Who else? I don't know who else would.
I don't know who else you would call in. Honestly,
it's not a by default situation. I don't want to give him that disrespect, but it is who else you got?
Right. Like he is definitely the next choice without a doubt.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily love any of Scotland's options, although they've also been banged up in the last couple of weeks as well. Mm-hmm. So not helpful there either. So yeah, with all that said, it's not by default, but yeah, I don't know who else you would pick anyway, but definitely deserve just the same. So yeah, if something goes awry, he's definitely on the plane, no question.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, squad drop much this week.
What did we get? 6? 5?
We got a few here.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, and there's probably a couple that I missed that we're not talking about because they're not necessarily playing anything huge. Wallaby squad has been dropped for the France series. France did drop their squad, but I'm also waiting on to see how the finals shake out because I know they're going to be missing some guys for top 14. I thought they said they weren't going to take anybody from those teams, but I could be wrong. Anyway, Michael Hooper returns to captain the Wallabies from his stint in Japan.
Love to see it.
Yep.
They need him back in Australia rugby, right? Like right now.
Yeah, I'm sure the Waratahs wishes they had him.
Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm. A little bit.
No question. And it's a good mix in this squad with some guys that a bunch of guys that are uncapped, but then you got about 4 or 5 guys that have 50 plus, if not, you have 2 guys that have 100.
Right.
Slipper and Hooper, and I think you got one more guy with like 90 odd as well. Where did I see it? I know I saw somebody with a high number. Yeah, Seal's got 60 odd. Maybe Seal's the one I saw. Yeah, Slipper's got 60 odd. That's pretty good too. So it's a good mix. It's a solid mix. You can see Rennie has ideas on what he wants his nucleus to be because some of these guys are returners from last year. So it's good. I like it. Got lots to do. And Matt Phillip returns from POW to make himself available for this as well. So
fair.
That's cool. Yeah. And Swain was a name I was really hoping would get the phone call, and I'm glad he did. I thought he played really well for the Rebels. So, or not for the Rebels, excuse me, for the Brumbies. I know better, I swear. Yeah, and then Michael Wells, that was another name that that was huge. Whose drum we were banging on there.
Right.
So that's a big one.
Love to see him there. I shouldn't say. Not a like at that point. That's a love.
Absolutely.
And there's one guy. Wait, let me make sure if he's Muirhead, uncapped. I'm glad to see Muirhead on the team.
Yep, Muirhead.
I was like, I don't think he's been capped, but he could have been one or two.
I think he might have made the squad at one point last year, but didn't get in.
Yeah, he didn't get in. So good to see him. He's one of those guys who just shows up when you need him to, right? He can disappear at other times, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's Muirhead scored a try out of like
I don't know
an awesome play. Yeah. We needed something there, and he gave it to us. So I like to see that kind of juju at the higher level.
Yep, totally. Good karma paying off. The team that the All Blacks are going to face this summer before they see the Wallabies is Fiji, and they've announced their squad. Saracens Aroni Moai is in there. Matavesi, definitely the best playing Matavesi this year, without a doubt. Can you imagine a second row of Nakarawa and Tuasui? That sounds mean.
That does sound extremely mean.
That sounds pretty mean.
And a back line with Nadolo and Murray Miraval. I know that Leicester can do it. They just didn't do it very often. I guess they did it this past week, but damn. Yep. Fijians are just large.
Right. And Lavani Batia I think he's the captain for this one. This go around. That's really mean. Pair him in there, Mansa Mataele, who has come into form for the Crusaders in the last couple of weeks. So, the 2 halfbacks, Lamani and Sorovi, both are really looking to move that ball quick. So, it's going to be, it should be fun. It'll be awesome to see them test themselves against the All Blacks. Yep. And, that's only good for the game. So I'm going to enjoy watching that, assuming we can find someplace to carry the damn thing.
Right.
I mean, geez, in our billion networks, I would imagine somewhere in there we can get one. Just give me one. Canada announced their squad because they're going over and doing something similar where they're playing
Wales and
England. So our boy Josh Larson makes the squad, which is the most important part.
That's the only thing. That's all that matters.
I actually watched Fraser Hurst on Saturday watching that Utah game. Didn't look too bad. I do notice in the names that are missing from their squad is the biggest one because there's nobody playing in Europe save one guy. I think he's playing in like non-league French rugby or something like that. So less than ideal. Everybody else is playing in MLR. Right. No Ardron. No Olmstead. That was was one of the name I knew that I wanted to mention. Olmstead. That's the one. Yeah, so that's and Boom. That's the other one.
Yeah, and DTH has retired. So
has left he has left the chat room.
Right.
So it'll be a good test for these boys. A lot of guys that are playing MLR and probably haven't quite seen this test level yet. I think they're going to be in for a hell of an awakening for some of these guys because they just haven't ventured outside this MLR bubble yet. So it's going to, not unlike the US boys. The US boys are going to have the same experience as well. So be very interested to see what they put forward. Very interested. Speaking of US, the women have named their team for a camp coming up to start preparing themselves for the World Cup next year.
It's a very good squad. I'm excited for it.
All four women that have been taking up residence in Devon have been named to the squad. Led by Kate Zachary, obviously. That's the name that certainly glows to me. Although I did like the way Contorna played for the Chiefs. Her foot was working quite well when she was over there. So you got a goal kicker on that at least. So that makes things way easier on you when it comes to putting points on the board. We got to see a few of these ladies play on Sunday as well.
We did, quite a few of them. And some of them were very impressive. I'd like to give a shout out to Erica Jarrell, who's a prop somehow.
Somehow. That is the tallest prop I've ever seen in my life.
She's like, she's got to be
6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
She was.
I don't know. It's hard to tell because a lot of those women were kind of short, so it's hard.
She's
to tell from that.
Be at least 6'2".
Yeah, she's extremely tall and not like she's thick. She's a forward, but she's not like the typical prop shape, I guess, as you could say either.
Yeah, that is atypical for sure.
Certainly but a stretched out prop, I guess. Like, you put a prop in the rack and you end up with her. But she was doing all sorts. She was kicking. She was doing everything. She was doing everything. She was running all over the pitch. She was just.
She was fantastic. In that game.
Right. She stood out for more than just her height. Like some players, they stand out and you're like, oh, look at them, and then you look at them and you're like, no. You look at her and you're like, yup.
No, absolutely.
She can play. I'm excited to see her at the next level.
Yeah, I think she's going to bring something, definitely a different, something extra to the team that you don't see necessarily.
Right. And if nothing else, she's going to learn a lot. I mean, and the cool thing about this is it's a DTE, it's a daily training environment. So it's really, they're taking them and putting them in a professional environment.
Yep.
Which fucking excellent. That's we need that. We don't have obviously we don't have women's professional rugby here yet.
No.
Yet, but it does seem like they're working towards it, which is good.
Yeah. You won't hear me complain. I will buy tickets to those matches as much as I buy them to the Free Jacks. I promise. I
would have paid for that match on Saturday or Sunday.
I'm glad we got that one for free. I felt a little bit like we robbed him.
Right.
It was good. It was really good stuff. So yes, go on, ladies. Go get them. We are definitely going to be cheering from afar over here. All right. Yeah, there were like 5 from that list that I think we saw play on Sunday. Yep. So that's pretty cool. And then the last thing that we haven't talked about yet is the Maori have announced their team. Unfortunately, Josh Ioane gets picked for the Maori, which means he's not going to the All Blacks. But quite honestly, he didn't quite have himself the season he needed to get there.
Yeah, so. I don't know how he fits into the All Blacks just yet. So
give it time.
Yeah. Give it time and at least one Barrett retiring.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, yeah, he's gonna be a bit. Ash Dixon captains aside, the Honduras hooker.
Try scoring machine that he is. He's a New Zealand hooker. Of course, he's a try scoring machine.
He knows where the try line is if he's from New Zealand, right?
Right.
Yeah, the entirety of the outside backs that are listed here are Chiefs.
Right.
Although Trash
all
can
the
play
outside
10.
Right, all the outside fives, aside from Billy Proctor or Chiefs.
Truth. I'm a little disappointed to see Terry Black there, but that's how it is. Apparently, Bowden Barrett.
As in not at the All Blacks, or
not with the All Blacks, because apparently Bowden Barrett has returned because he's going to be water boy tomorrow or Saturday, whatever day it is.
Yeah,
I get my days of weeks lost.
Black is gonna. That's why, like as I said, Black and Ioane are in this to get them some experience, because
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be Moonga and Bowden as 10. Well, you don't really need any others at that point.
Yep.
At the moment anyway. But this is also keeps them active in case, one of them gets hurt.
Yeah. You want to make sure that they're primed,
Right.
ready to roll into that. Yeah. So lots of squats getting thrown around here, kids.
Yeah.
Hold on tight. Okay. Let's do our seasonal stuff for each comp. We want to start with the Prem or the Super.
Let's start with the Prem. I have Prem first.
Okay. You have it listed, so that works. All right. So let's do Team of the Year. So your loose head is
Ellis Gensch.
Same. Absolutely fantastic year for that boy. And
right.
I've become I'm a huge fan of Ellis Gensch at this point. So I can only hope that he just he will wear that white jersey a lot more. And we see him, probably start a little bit more often, and certainly relieve the other big number one that plays for England, Mako. So
yeah,
very, very interested to see that one. But yes, huge year for the boy, and has done a ton of growing up, and I really believe in his future. So
and he's just been fantastic. You can't speak more highly of him. I know, I had some things to say about his behavior last week, but that's still that's a rare occurrence now.
It's a rare
occurrence now, right? It's like exactly. It's just one of those. I'll bury that. It's done. He's been kicking ass, and you'll hear more from him later in my awards.
No doubt. Your hooker is
George McGuigan.
Oh yeah, I see. And I thought about him, but I went with Sam Matavesi.
I like that too. But I wanted to especially single out McGuigs because he did that, as well as he did on that team.
Yeah.
So it's more of and
they had some struggling days, that's for sure.
They did, but McGuigan was one of their guys that they counted on all season and didn't fall off, and just kept it going even through the end of the season. He fucking kicked ass this past weekend. So
I went with Sam Matavesi. He walked into that Northampton team and ripped that 2 shirt away from everybody else that was vying for it.
He did, and
he played his ass off. Definitely, like we said, definitely the best playing Matavesi without a doubt.
Right.
But he did. He owns that 2 shirt in Northampton now, I believe. So good for him. Your tight head is.
Also dating back to last week, I guess a little bit, but John Afoa.
Same. I have him as well. That the old man still does it, and it's just always amazing to me. And he's hanging him up, but man, just to be able to do what he does at his age,
he keeps Kyle Sinkler off the field.
It's like
how do you do that at that age? And he, he's the kind of guy who will come in injured, and win a scrum for you. To win him to close out a match when you're literally one RCH away from getting a penalty try, yellow card, all that in the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nope, don't do that. So yes, I have him as well. Pick one lock.
David Ribbons.
I have him in there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just a fucking
apart from the red card, a fantastic season.
Shitty way to end it, but
absolutely.
A
lot of the good things.
Excellent player this year. It really took steps forward. I think he got his first try this year and then scored like 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, something like that.
He's like, oh, wait, I know how to do that. I can do this now. All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, I got this covered, guys. No worries.
Right. Really was one of the guys who helped pick them up when the Stars were away and all that. So
and they were pushing for a semifinal place all the way up until 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
So and he was a big
good
reason.
On him.
Yep. I agree. Your other lock is
Chris Vui.
Yeah, great pick.
Just a beast. Same kind of thing. Just impact player. Whenever one of those guys when you need a body there, he's the one who's there at any, and whether he's a 5 or a 6 or whatever. I mean, when he's a 6, he's just an up jumped 5. But damn, brings it in every way. Can move the ball. Can thunder over you. Can make his tackles. All that good stuff. Good guy.
Yeah, I am biased on this one. I went with Greg Peterson.
Fair. I'm not going to argue. The only thing with Peterson is he kind of fell off the last like 5 weeks.
Right, but even still, like,
they played him
how
so
much? How much did he play? He missed one match.
Right.
Like, I think he only didn't play in one match, and the dude played 80 a lot.
He did,
including this past weekend.
He did.
And he's a lineout. He was their lineout general, just running. Between him, I'm sure he and McGuigan have telepathy between the two of them at this point.
Sure.
So the guy, and he's done so much growing up as a part of this Newcastle Falcons team since he was at Glasgow, I believe is where he was before. But yeah, like so much, and no longer the hammerhead that we used to be like, what the fuck you doing? He is now a guy I would 100% trust with, whatever job you need him to do on the field. Doesn't matter what the game is.
Right. So. Shows the difference in the professionalism versus amateurism. That's, he's been asked to be a professional, and man, has he stepped up and learned from that. And no longer the hammerhead that we're like, oh, penalty on Peterson again. Like,
that was definitely words that were uttered quite often when we were watching the U.S. with him. Oh, jeez. Oh, Peterson, you moron. But no more of that. He's beyond that. So good for him. And I had to give him props. Who's your 6?
This one might surprise you. But it's also the fact that there's not much to speak of when I'm thinking about actual 6s. So I went with Matt Rogerson.
Oh, I like it.
Second most tackles in the Prem.
Damn, that's work rate right there.
Yeah, I think that's all and plus his play outside of that. Another dependable guy. Not lacks the star quality that like a Ribbons and a Vui showed. But 6 is a lunch pail position, so. That's the guy I'm going with.
Bring it and go to work.
There's another 6 that we talk about occasionally, and I fucking don't like him. Neither do you. So I'm gonna give it to a guy I actually like.
Yeah, I went with I had my pick of the twins on this one. I went with Jean-Luc Dupria.
Fair. I think of him more as a lock, but
right. And that being said, that's why I slid him to 6, because that's an appropriate position for him. Boy, this guy can carry the ball. Good Lord.
Right.
Scary. Yeah. My back row is filled with ball carriers, by the way. So that's him. Who's your 7?
My 7 didn't finish the year, which is unfortunate. It didn't. I kind of overlooked him at first and put someone else there, but that person didn't end up playing a game of 7 at all anywhere. Ooh. So I pulled that person out, and I'm like, you know what, the best 7 this year for really the best team. Because there were like other guys like Ludlam and Ludlow, the Luds, that played very well, but they didn't carry their team the way Will Evans carried his team.
Yeah, it's just, man, I wish he had finished the year. Kenningham's done a pretty good job in his stead.
He's done an excellent, but that in a way hurts Evans' case. But that's true. At the same time, I'm not going to argue with that. He played outstanding.
Yeah, so my 7 isn't an actual 7 and never played a second of it, but I couldn't leave him off the team. It's Alex Dombrandt.
Okay, fair. I had Mercer at 7.
Yeah, I had some big ball carriers.
Yeah,
in my back row. Yeah, I don't think we need to talk about 8.
No, same guy.
Sam Simmons.
Yes,
without doubt. 9.
Danny Kerr.
Yes. Okay, I knew one of us was going to pick him, and I did not pick him. Okay. I went with Andy Aaron.
And that. Yes, I just didn't want that many bears. I didn't want to overbear this team.
Yeah, I don't have. I think that's my last one on this team. Yes, it is.
I have 2 more.
Yeah, so I also tried to represent as many teams as I could. So.
Right, and Danny Kerr to me was by far and away the best.
Oh, I love
Andy
the play
picked it up.
So yeah, that was my reasoning. Andy Aaron, it was Urin and Randall. Randall got hurt, and Urin said, "Fine, I'm here, and I will not let you down," and he didn't.
Right.
That was good for him, and I like that.
And now instead of 2 half 9s, Bristol have 2 fucking
awesome top
9s.
Right. Do we need to talk about 10?
Marcus Smith.
Yeah, don't need to.
The golden boot.
Next.
Okay, so one of my wings. I've seen other places where they had the same wings, they were flipped, but either way, my 11 is Tom O'Flaherty.
Okay, that's a good one. Yep. I mean, I really liked his play. I thought he stepped up a lot this year for that team when they needed to, and they needed to find ways to score points sometimes, and it wasn't always pretty.
Right. And he was their dependable wing. Like the other wing 100%. Would always be,
somebody else, whether it was Facundo or Cuthbert or Woodburn whoever it was,
or Noel for the hot minute before he hurt himself again, and then came back and then hurt himself again, and then
dude, take care of yourself, you dummy.
But Flats was there and dependable the whole season, and they really Exeter needed that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be, even where they are right now.
Yeah, I went with a guy that came in somewhat near the midseason, but man, did he play his balls off. Will Muir.
That's an excellent pick.
Oh man, he came in, from sevens and just took to it like a duck to water. Just knew exactly what to do, and Bath needed that spark that he provided as well. Big body out there on the wing, still able to finish well at that. Right. Skills have translated well for Will Muir, and that was a great season.
He'll be named. He'll be named by me later.
There you go.
We'll get there.
Okay. Let's go to center.
Okay.
12.
Piers O'Connor.
Yep, and I have a bunch of Bears, and I was like, nope, can't do it. And I had him, and I was like, nope, that's too many.
Like, who else? I mean, I'm sure you'll have someone else that's good, but
so I bumped my 13 into my 12 because I wanted I put somebody else at 13. My 12 right now is Curtis Rona.
Okay, he's a fine 12.
He was, and that was my Irish pick. I was like, all right, I need an Exiles pick.
Yeah, I really wanted to pick him at 13, but I couldn't, unfortunately. Either way.
No.
That's a fine pick right there.
Yeah.
I rate Piers and Rona very
highly. Yeah, very highly.
And highly.
13,
Joe Marchant.
I love it. I like it. Yeah, that's a great pick. He had so much for man, remember when he went to New Zealand and people were just like, why the fuck's he doing that?
That's why he's doing that.
That's why he's doing that. Man, this guy has come back so much better. And the only people that have benefited from it are Quins in England. He's just played incredibly. I picked a guy that did not finish the season either. And I felt like he kind of got jobbed a little bit, but just the same. It's Odogwu.
Fair. That's a great. He also improved greatly as the season went on.
Mm-hmm.
He had a little bit of trouble in contact his first match or two, but then, as in getting shrugged off when he's like the second man in a tackle.
Yeah. Come on, man, get in there.
Not looking good. He and then he came into being the guy. If he was 1-on-1, he was gonna fucking lay the thunder. So
yeah, quite good from Paulo.
Excellent defensive growth from him.
Mm. 14, the other wing,
same team as your Odogwu, but I'm going with Josh Bassett.
Oh man, what a good year from that boy.
How many tries did he score? Hold on, I have the stats.
Oh, he's got a few at least. He's got a bucket full.
He was he was third in the league. Well, tied for third with Dom and Byron McGuigan. But Josh, he had 9. So he's third behind Danny and Sam Simmons.
Yeah, everybody was behind Sam Simmons. Jeez. I went with the Lion Cub, Lewis Rees-Zammit.
Yeah, I felt like his exploits outside of the Prem outstripped his Premiership performance, which is why I went in another direction. But
fair enough.
You can't go wrong with Louis Rees-Zammit.
Yeah, no, I thought he was great. I thought when needed, he did quite well for Gloucester, especially when. Even not necessarily in the Prem, but like Champions Cup, I thought he did pretty well for them. Yep. So I thought he deserved the nod at the very least.
I mean, he's a guy that they were like, look, if we have to force him the ball, we will force him the ball, and then they'd force him the ball and he'd score. So it's like, yeah, sure.
Yes, he would. Who is your last line of defense?
Chuck P.
Yeah, can't go wrong with
that. He led. He didn't even play that much. Well, relatively
compared to others.
He led the Prem in is it meters gained? I think. Where is it? I can't find the stat at the moment.
He knew how to find the meters, that's for
sure. No, he wasn't. He was 1, 2, 3, he was 4th. Behind O'Flaherty, Parton, Hassel Collins, and then it was him.
It's still pretty high for a guy that
still pretty high.
Play. I think he played 16 games, something like that.
Right. And he was in the top 10 or definitely easily in the top 10 in clean breaks.
That's ridiculous.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, in an effort to try and include as many teams as possible, I went with Jamie Shillcock.
I like that.
Who I thought played. He got put in a couple of really tough pinches with when Worcester were down to 0-10s. Or Finn Smith. and he performed brilliantly. And then when they put him back at fullback, he shined when he was back there. So I was like, wow, this guy's actually really good. Where the fuck has he been?
He scored tries for Worcester.
Who didn't know how to score tries.
Right.
Let me do this again.
Yeah. So, people who score tries for Worcester are doing themselves very well. So
absolutely. I agree. Yeah. So I was like, I got to put this. I was very impressed, especially with the way he finished the year. Mm-hmm. But yeah, even filling that 10 shirt when that is not his natural position at all.
Right. And yeah, he showed his talent all year.
Yeah. And doing a serviceable job. So yeah, Jimmy Shelcock's my fully. Okay. Who gets the big nods here? Start with forward.
Forward. I mean, our player of the year is obvious, but I didn't like doubling up, especially because my player of the year is because of his rugby playing. Mm-hmm. This person as a forward, dominated games doing forward things, and the most forward of positions prop. And so Ellis Gange is my forward of the year.
Yes, that is a really good pick. It's a really good pick at that. Yeah, I went with Sam. It was
yeah.
Really,
I mean, he's getting another.
All right, well, he'll be there.
Yeah.
Back.
Marcus Smith.
Yeah,
it gotta be.
Yeah, golden boy. Gotta be him. Gotta be him. Like it's when the Quins are eliminated or when they win it, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. He's in the England camp.
Man, if he's not in the England camp, there's something really wrong. There's something really wrong, and I know that I've already spoken my disdain for Eddie, and honestly, I hope that. Yeah. If he starts actually fucking smartening up and picking guys that need to be picked, then okay, I'll be back in this corner. But fucking hell, until that happens, I'm not an Eddie fan at all. Mm-hmm. So, Marcus Smith, Black of the Year without a doubt. Young Player of the Year.
So I went with true rookies. Like if you played in the Prem before, and same thing in the in Super Rugby. Mm-hmm. If you played in a match before this year, I discounted you. I wanted a true rookie. So I went with Will Muir.
I like him.
And an honorable mention to Jack Kenningham too.
Kenningham played his balls off.
He did. But Will Muir, for all the reasons you had him in your 15, what more is there to say? He just.
Yeah, brilliant performance from Muir out of nowhere. Great stuff. I went with somebody that I think you and I both very much like, and that is Rafi Quirk.
I was he was on my list until I realized he played like he got garbage time last year.
The garbage times with the midweek fixtures, yeah. But like significant game time was not something that he had seen much of. So I was like, you win.
That's fine. I'm just saying I was anal about my criteria.
Fair enough. That's fine. Player of the Year, Sam Simmons.
Sam, what are you gonna do? Record-setting tries and
just
tackles and
doing things for fun.
Yeah, just playing rugby out there.
Yeah. DOR.
Pat Lam.
Got to be. Even though they were third last year and they've obviously gone to first this year, but just between the 2 years, really, just like the way he's built this team into such a. I talk glowingly when I'm talking at high school practice for the kids about how much I love watching Bristol, and Pat Lam's style is the reason. So that's fun.
And that's why they're there. So it really is their style. And you think of also like next year they're gonna lose Ben and
Malins
Ben and Max. So and you're like, you know what though? You're looking at their squad and you're like, that's fine. That's a fine squad. No big deal.
Yeah, they're like for their back row, they still have Fitzharding,
who looked good.
Yep, he looks great. And Dan Thomas is still there to fill in when
Luatua is still there.
Yep. There's plenty in the locker there.
That's a lot down to Lamb there too. So.
No doubt. Let's go to the Southern Hemisphere here.
All right. So this time I'll pose the question to you this time. Your loose head.
I went with Gus Bell. I wanted a Waratah, and really there was a lot of places I could have picked a Waratah, but I couldn't think of a lot of loose heads that I really wanted to pick other than him because he's still a youngster. Like Bevan Rod was on my list for Prem, by the way, for loose heads.
Yeah.
So, in the same vein where, yes, he was not a newbie to this, but still performed well after already being known as a thing. In a really crappy team at that. So tough sledding at the loose head position here and there. But yeah, I like Gus Bell, and as my lone Warta in the team, I'll take it.
Alan Alatoa will be my loose head of the year. Just brings it.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna captain. Or is it? Yeah. Whatever it is. Are you thinking out? Here's the thing. Which Alatoa are you thinking? Are you thinking of the Brumbies guy? Or are you thinking of the Crusaders guy?
Oh, Brumbies.
Okay. Yeah, he's tight head, but whatever. Props are prop.
It. Props are prop.
Props are props sometimes.
Tight head's the easy. Loose head's the easier one. So fucking slide over.
Yeah, slide over, dude. Next.
Oh yeah, your hooker.
Feleti Kaitu'u from the Western Force.
Ooh, okay.
I thought, he played really well this year in a Force team that surprised a lot of people, and has more or less unseated Fainga as an Australian hooker. And, he's not in the camp for the summer. So, and part of that is down, and not all of it, but part of it is down to Kaitu'u stepping up and playing very well for the Force. So, I went with him.
Okay. I went with the Crusader, of course. Cody Taylor.
I love Cody Taylor, and it pains me to say is a Dane Coles guy, but I really do. You know, so much grew on me with Cody Taylor, especially being able to watch some of that special stuff. Like, I was like, dude, I like you so much right now. Why? Yeah. We might have
tight head.
Yeah, we might have the same.
We better have the same tight head.
Tupo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red's tight head was just an absolute monster, as he has been for quite a bit now. But he was just the same monster as before.
Right. Your first lock.
I spoke of him before, and I was speaking of him for a while. Darcy Swain from the Brumbies.
Okay.
I thought he played brilliantly and has deserved his call up to the Australia team, especially when you consider this is a team that's had the Arnold brothers rotate through it and just be like, peace, we're out, and there's been a lot of names that have come through this team, and he's just like, cool, I'm here, I got it. He is the leader in that lock group for the Brumbies, and we know how much the Brumbies like their line out. So yeah, that's a big one. So
my Aussie lock is Fergus Lee Warner.
Okay, yeah, he played everywhere. I think. God, I don't know if there's a position in the back five he didn't play.
Right. But yeah, and he was the top carrying player.
That's ridiculous.
Most tackles and most in carries, 9th in tackles.
Yeah, it's a lot of contact in there.
That's in this competition, that means something. So yeah, just making impressions all over the pitch, as you said. So I'm throwing him at lock, and I think the Wallabies are too. So
yeah, they might be. So there you go. I have a dueling Wallaby locks for my other one. Lukan Salakai Loto for the Reds. Just great ball carrying, good offloading ability, and he's a loose forward playing 5 or 4, whatever the hell it is, and just brings more dynamism to a Reds team that played pretty damn well this year. Barring James O'Connor getting hurt, I'm wondering what else would happen this year for them in Trans-Tasman. But hey, c'est la vie. But yeah, he's my other lock.
So for the record, Fergus Lee Warner is not on the team. I saw him somewhere, and I can't remember where I saw him being listed. So. Anyway, my other 5 is Sam Whitelock because
it's Sam Whitelock.
I tried to stay away from Crusaders, but you can only stay away from so many.
Yes, this is true.
So there'll be 3 more, unfortunately, but that's
I've got 3 more as well.
Probably the same 3.
Yeah, close to it at least.
Right. You're 6.
Luke Jacobson from the Chiefs.
Okay. See, I thought of him more at an 8. But yeah,
somewhere on the side, somewhere around the back row of the scrum. I thought he filled in really well for a back row that was struggling for a little bit, and they and obviously they end up propelling themselves into the Aotearoa final. Right. And I thought he was a big reason for his early work in the year, and then just continued to turn out, with the exception of one hammerhead performance. But other than that, he made life very difficult on other teams. So I thought he deserved somewhere in the back row here.
My 6 was Rob Vellatini. Because
I love Rob. I was looking at it, I was like, shit, I already got 2 of my 6s that I can, but I wanted to throw this guy in there. And
hey, look, I appreciate
him and Wells. Valentini and Wells, another 2 pair of guys that I would have been like, yep, that works too.
Right. So who's your 7?
One Artie Sevilla.
I mean, of course.
I mean, I know we got hurt, but man, that performance he put in against the Crusaders was worth it alone. That dude was a hero in that game. They should have won that game too.
Yeah.
And had he not got hurt, I believe 100% they would not have been able to stop him. So
I don't disagree there.
That man's a monster. I love him. So yeah, Artie Sevilla.
Okay. And I have named Dalton Papali'i, another guy who missed some time with injury, but
somebody that is very highly touted to take Sam Kane's shirt for the summer. So, and if it's not him, it might be Sevilla.
Right. Exactly. So that's where we are.
1 of 2.
Year 8. I think we're going to go with the same 8.
Kazuki Himeno.
Oh, we didn't. Okay. All right. Yeah. But I fucking love that.
Man, it was so great to see him perform well in this league outside of Japanese top league, which we know has some stars, but isn't that strong. It's like MLR. It's not that strong. So for him to come down to the Highlanders and to perform so well for a guy he knows very well, Tony Brown, who's obviously not going to be around anymore, but still for him to perform so well for Tony Brown, and after Tony Brown put faith in him to say, come be a big back rower for us. And they love him down there as well at Forsyth Bar. So that is a huge thing for me, and just a soft spot in my heart for him. And so I picked him.
Fair enough. I cannot argue with that at all in any way. I went in a different direction on the other side of the pond because just the shift he put in and the lift that he gave his team was, Harry Wilson was just fantastic all year.
Week in, week out. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Boy was a beast. I don't disagree.
Your scrummy.
Aaron Smith. Undoubtedly.
Right.
Man, that dude just lifts that team, that Highlanders team, and obviously they're playing in the final this coming weekend. He lifts that team so much when he plays, and the seeds he just throws out there that turn into tries. I'm like, oh man. And
and he's not even at his best anymore.
No,
he's
he's not even there yet. He's not there anymore, but he's still a damn good scrum half. He's still one of the best 9s in the world.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you think about he had to come back from kind of a hammerhead incident many, many moons ago, for those that have forgotten about that. And he's turned himself into a fantastic human being, let alone a fantastic rugby player. So got to give Aaron Smith a nod for many reasons.
And I stayed with my Aussie and Reds combination and went Tate McDermott.
Not saying he should be Australia's 9 this summer.
Yeah.
He should 100% be Australia's 9 this summer. If he's not, there's a problem.
You're 10.
3 guesses.
I'm sorry. You're Mwanga.
Yeah. Richie Mwanga, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Unquestionably.
Okay. All right, moving on. Because we'll talk more about him later. I am certain. Your first wing.
Nareki? Is that how we say this guy's name?
That's how I spelled it.
Yeah, John Nareki. Absolutely. Fucking hell. That he started the season off pretty well with a freaking performance against the Chiefs and really didn't look back as long as he was on the field.
Right. So. Except to see guys running after him.
Pretty much. Oh man. Yeah. And and he scored him he didn't just score in the wing. He went up the middle. He did it all over the place. So yeah, I hope he gets picked for the All Blacks this summer. That dude's played amazing.
All right. You're inside center.
Man that just rocks up for his team every week, in and out, bar this past week, Matt Tamua.
Fascinating. Okay. I can't argue that one. I don't think you'll argue against mine, Nana Laumape.
Yeah, I know. I wish he was coming back.
Yeah.
Wish he was coming back.
But he did give a little bit of a fuck you performance on his way out, huh?
Oh, 100%. That was totally a fuck you New Zealand performance and he said he's never coming back. 4 weeks. Yeah. He said he's never coming back.
Wow. Harsh.
Yeah. I don't blame him. They offer him a pay cut.
Right.
Come on, man. What the fuck you doing, New Zealand? New Zealand doesn't screw up too often. That's a big screw up.
Right. You're outside center.
Guy that had to kind of change his position there, Lester Nuku.
Okay, yeah. That's an excellent 13 pick. Just because he can play fucking anywhere.
Yeah, at this point.
And play at a very high level. I went with Anton Leonard Brown.
Yeah, ALB.
Because
those magic feet of his.
Yeah, and he cleans up some people's mistakes very well.
Yeah, when they put a certain hammerhead 12 inside of him, he usually makes him looks really good.
Right. He helps that out. So if he can make Quinn Tupaya look good.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Your other wing?
Bryce Heem. I thought he's come in played really well in a pinch. Where they were like, "Oh, we don't have another wing." Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Bryce Heem. Fantastic.
Yeah, my last two will be with the Crusaders. So my 14 is Sevu Reese.
That's not a bad pick either.
You want to try scored? All right, we'll give it to Sevu.
Yeah, got 3 of them this past weekend.
Yeah, in a clutch performance, and when they needed points, and he delivered for them.
Yeah,
the rest of the team kind of
defense didn't quite help out, but
right. We'll get to somebody else who also pitched in with that one. Who's your 15?
Will Jordan.
Yeah, there you go. Same. So for the same reason,
another guy that should be in the All Black squad.
I can't remember if he had a brace or if one of them was called back.
One was called back.
Okay. But yeah, fucking, and even when he wasn't scoring tries, he was breaking the defense's necks, like not even ankles, not even backs, just
yeah. DOR.
Okay. We'll go DOR. I'm going with a little bit of a homer pick here. Clayton McMillan.
Yeah, there's not a bad pick by any means whatsoever. That was a job he had to do.
Yeah, you step in for Gats and you go 9-4 and you lose to the Crusaders in the Super. That's what you do when you go to the Super Rugby final against the Crusaders. You lose to the Crusaders. No shame in that. So yeah, and with a hat tip and honorable mention to Leon McDonald with the Blues.
Yeah, I thought he's done really well.
Same thing. Both of them just really lifted their team. Just as the Clayton was doing it in a substitute position, which is harder.
Yeah, it's much harder sometimes. I went with Brad Thorne.
Fair.
For the Reds, just finally getting his team over that hump and getting some silverware into that locker for the Reds and doing it in a fantastic way with so many amazing players that just entertain the crap out of us in Super Rugby AU. So loved it. So, and that's a long way from being the dickhole that we thought Brad Thorne was. So good for him.
Your forward of the year,
Harry Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, the one he didn't make my team, but I had to freaking throw him in there because man, that dude just changes games.
He did.
That dude changes games. Without a doubt.
Shocking on my end that I went with another prop. But I don't and I agree with Harry Wilson having a great year. But I also don't think you can argue with Taniela Tupou as the forward of the year.
No, I mean he played 80 in that final, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
85 or 86.
Whatever the hell the Reds block was in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No argument.
Fuck. That's and he almost scored the winning try. He certainly set up the winning try.
Yeah. Helped it big time.
Right. Fuck. Yeah. Just every week is a shift, and he does it. Unlike others, he does it at 3.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to do it too.
That's a real tough spot. You see some of these ones going around playing 80, and you're like, yeah, big fucking deal. You're barely scrummaging.
Can't confirm.
Your back of the year.
Mwanga.
Fair. I went with Will Jordan.
I mean, not telling you no.
Right.
Because
who's your player of the year?
Mwanga.
Yeah, there you go. That's why. Because I didn't want I separated the player and position wise because it's
fine.
I mean, Mwanga was a rugby player this year, so
yeah, he makes everything so pretty.
He does.
It makes me happy just to watch Richie Mwanga. Really does, except when he plays the Hurricanes. But even then, I can't be mad.
Right, you can't be mad because you're like, well, he's doing beautiful things.
Yeah, I'm like,
right.
It's one of those moments where you're like, I don't want to be happy about that, but god damn it, that was really beautiful. That's
it's kind of like it's to be fair to your team. It's like, yeah, Mwanga just did that to them. Okay, fair. He does it to everyone.
Right, he definitely does it to everyone.
Young player of the year.
Salesi Rayasi from the Hurricanes.
Like it.
Absolutely just blazing speed and making defenses really, really regret the fact that they forgot about him because they wanted to pay too much attention to Jordy.
Right. and he was on my short list, but missed it because he did play last year. For me, I went with a true rookie. But Rayasi, yeah, he was absolutely he was on there until I realized that he had played.
He did play a little bit last year, yes.
And I honestly, or surprisingly, same team. I went with the Hurricanes. Can you guess who that might have been?
Ruben Love.
No, although he was close. Braden Yose.
Oh man, that dude is going to be so great,
right?
When he gets like more than 20 minutes of playing time,
right? And
holy shit!
That give him an opportunity and he will take it.
That is a sneaky FRD pick next year, I bet.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that dude's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to see that dude do some damage. You know, some of these guys that are in the background are just old war horses right now, and they've been there for a while. Mm-hmm. Let the boy loose.
Thought you might appreciate that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. Yeah, he's going to be great. Okay. We don't need to talk about this too much. Championship final first leg. We see, all right. So at this point, I think Ealing's just pissed at PRL. We're sending the Saracens down instead of like Worcester,
right?
Or it would have been Leicester last year. I think they're just pissed at them. Like, you sent us these guys. You didn't send us anybody else. Come on.
Yeah, it's a different class of rugby.
60 burger on them.
So, yeah. And they just were playing. They were toying with them. They were not even trying to play. Saracens, weren't trying to play terribly disciplined attacking rugby.
Oh, hell no, they were just chucking it about sometimes. Yes, they kicked to compete to start, which is what they do. But once they started like kind of getting through the gears and just turning it over, they're like, yeah, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Why don't we just pass the ball out and then we'll chip it ahead and then we'll gather it up the field.
Yeah, and there is some good stuff in this Ealing team, none of which showed its face at all.
No,
I liked whoever their 12 was. He had some balls, but really, anybody else.
Their 3 got just
White. Yeah, poor kid.
In the A. Right.
It's a bad scrum when it's Mako. Mako is not a strong scrummager. Everybody knows this. Mm-mm. It's not a mystery that Mako's not a strong scrummager. When you're getting hosed by him, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And also, that park, that is not a Premiership park. I'm sorry.
Not really, no.
No way. No, there's nobody that's going to pay money to go visit that park.
Can we move that park that the Rebels used up to there to Ealing? Because that
might have been better.
That hill is just gorgeous.
Oh, the hill's nice. You
gotta love a field with a hill for rugby.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I realize it's somewhat amateurish, but fuck, sell tickets, lawn tickets, fuck it. Like,
yeah, just lawn tickets can totally be sold easy,
right? Yeah, and you could fit a whole mess of people up on that, so that they really couldn't fit in their in that. I feel like that was smaller than the Union Points.
It might be. I look at it, I'm like,
stands on both sides, and the Union Point, like where the Free Jacks play, like stands on one length of the field on the back of the field.
One end zone plus the
beer tent up on the
nicer seats plus the beer tent. So yeah,
right.
I feel like it definitely. I think Union Point rivals that easily.
That's sad.
It is.
Union Point is not look. It's an incredibly quality facility as far as the field and the playing conditions and all that. Mm-hmm. It's just the stands that are at the moment lackluster and hopefully will be built up as the team gets more popular. But
I agree.
Anyway, all that to say, yeah, Ealing aren't ready yet.
Nope.
And I don't know that they're
going to have a couple years to think about it once things go the way they go. But so assuming that the Saracens don't completely botch the next match at the StoneX, I'd say
how would that happen?
I don't know. I honestly don't. Like, you get 3 red cards, basically, is what it comes down to. And even then, I'm not sure that they could botch 60 points. They'd find a way to nut up and play defense.
And you kick the ball down the field, and then you play defense. You kick the ball down the field, and play defense. That fucking
like they didn't even get a point.
No, they didn't really come that close either.
What was it? It was a little squeaky.
There was that. Like, it was, I think, right at the 60-minute mark when they were showing that, like, the Saracens had played 38 phases inside the opposition 22, mm-hmm. and he only had played 9. Yeah.
Not good. Not a good conversion rate, that's for sure.
Right. And I think that at that point, Sarries had like 39 points. So I think it was
like right.
They're still averaging more, like over a point a phase.
Yep.
And giving up the donut. So yeah, look out, Prem. Sarries are back.
They are on the way back.
Yeah, it's not official yet, but they're back.
Yeah, heads up. Okay, let's go down to the Southern Hemisphere. Hurricanes, Queensland, Reds, just, no James O'Connor, just really lots of problems. And like you said, a big fuck you performance from and Ruben Love heard you. And Ruben Love played very well in this match.
Hey, yeah. I have I like Ruben Love. I've been impressed outside of that one, but yeah, I do like I like when the players hear me.
Yep, that dude definitely did well and played he played his ass off.
Because it probably means the coaches agree with me and fucking jam rockets up their asses. So that's what I'm going with.
There you go.
I'm having a little bit of radar love with the coaches.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, Jason Holland was very pleased by the end of that one. Too bad they couldn't figure it out last week. Otherwise, we'd be in a final. But hey, c'est la vie. That's how it goes. And I'm okay with a league where you get punished for taking a week off.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Excellent. That's what ensures the highest quality. If it's win or go home,
I agree. Absolutely,
win or go home.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's why we love March Madness, right over here.
Yeah, it's absolutely got to show up every day.
Yep.
And then jaunt over to Canberra. Brumbies, Highlanders take care of business and do everything that they were supposed to do to make sure they put pressure on everybody else.
Yep. Your guy Aaron Smith. Showing up. Didn't he have one called back too? He had a brace.
He did. Yep.
He should have had a hat trick.
Oh, man, the guy's good. Like, the guy's still good.
He is. He still got it.
Yeah, you can't unseat him yet. Sorry, kids.
Yeah,
you're not. That 9 jersey still belongs to Aaron Smith, and his name's like permanently sewn in there, big time. So that was a great performance from the Highlanders, and they did exactly what they knew they needed to. On the other side of the coin, Rebels and the Crusaders. Yes, Crusaders got the win, but man,
Rebels rocked up.
And Crusaders let themselves down a little bit.
They did. Then they were scoring tries with relative ease, the Crusaders at times. So it was like one of these, like the Rebels were holding them, and okay, Crusaders finally get in, or get a nice long break or something like that and get in. But it's like, in the face of that, the Rebels didn't back down, and they kept scoring tries. And that's the thing, that that's how you stay with the Crusaders. You don't stop them. You try to score with them.
Yeah, run with them, guys.
It's heavy sledding, I get it, but I thought the Rebels did an incredibly admirable job, even with they got doubled up, but it's that you're expecting that, like it's one of those, you probably could have the Crusaders could have hung a 50-point margin of victory on you because they were that fired up, but they played enough defense and certainly attacked well enough. Which is saying a lot. It's not like a minimization to say it that way. It's just, that's the reality. Rebels really rocked up and kept pace.
Yep, agree. And that caused every bit of anguish for the Crusaders, because shortly after that, they found out they were out.
Right.
As the Blues were able to rock up and take care of the force. I talked a little bit of smack about Mark Talia a couple of weeks ago. Oops. Yeah, dude, he looks fine. He looks fine. He's good.
He had a couple down weeks. I will give you that. I can vouch for that. He
was hurt for a little bit.
My fantasy rugby team. Yeah, I missed him a lot. Even when he was playing, he wasn't always
everything you wanted.
He wasn't always giving me the points that I would expect from him, from where I drafted him. So, but no, he turned it on at the end, big time. So, and that, fantasy wise and reality wise. The player that we're used to seeing.
100%. And then and the Force showed some nuts as we've known them to this year as well. So good on them.
Yep.
Kaitu did get over, so that helped. That line that Kurandrani ran is the line I've been fucking waiting for him to run all bloody year. Like, that is his line. He needs. He should have been running that way more often. And we might be talking about a Force team that played in the final for AU.
Right.
So too bad.
As I told the guys after we had a defeat to a solid team this week, the margins are so small. So the Force playing as well as they did, and rocking up, and they like just a little bit away from being a top team, which is different, but that's what we saw from them last year, right? They were an excellent team that just could play 70 minutes.
Yeah, they just kept falling short.
Now they're playing 80 minutes, but they gotta up it a little bit more, and that'll be. I have no doubts that'll be there. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I see what you did there. And then Sean Wainui against
versus the Waratahs.
Did anybody else score a try in this game?
Hold on, check.
No. Florence did. That's it.
Wait, where? Oh. Yes, he's in the reserve. Okay, yeah, Florence did.
In the reserves.
Yeah.
And how many weeks do you think that last Wainui try that was just muscled over won people in FRT championships?
Because he was a guy you picked up.
Yeah, off the waivers, 100%.
He was an ad, and yep. Somebody won because of him. Somebody didn't get the Sacco.
There were a lot of people that won because of Sean Wainui this week. I would bet $1,000 on that.
A lot of people got the Sacco because of him. I will tell you that, and because he was on the other team.
Were you one of them?
You know what? I might have been. Yes, I was. Fucking hell.
Probably.
Carrick.
That's all right. Okay. Up to the Northern Hemisphere, we had 2 matches canceled, unfortunately, which sucks.
Lame.
But really, in the end, one of them was meaningless, and one of them we kind of knew it was coming.
There was one match that really mattered this week.
Yeah, and that was the Exeter and Sale match, and what a dandy it was, just the same.
There's
a lot of things. It's so wild how many things resulted from this match, because both teams were like, we got to rock up, because they know how valuable a home semifinal is.
Yep.
Do you know who the last team was that won a home semifinal?
You mean lost?
No, or won away semifinal.
Wasn't it Sarries like 50 years ago?
It was like 8 years ago against the Saints.
Might as well be 50 years ago. Yeah, no, it's seriously it's not something that you can expect.
Yeah, and before that, the last time that somebody had done that, it was like 8 years. So yeah. It's not often that the away team wins a semifinal. So, yeah, it was pretty wild.
Although, if one's gonna do it, I'm looking at Sale, but for the injuries that they had,
especially with
AJ. That's it, right? Like that's not.
Who are they going to call at 10? Who are they going to call at 10?
It's gonna be Rob, RDP. It's got to be, right? Who else you got?
That's it.
Who else you got?
Fucking hell.
The problem is, we I kind of laughed about it, and I'll laugh about it again as I see it again. That Byron McGuigan scored 9 tries this year. I mean, why do you think Byron McGuigan scored 9 tries this year?
Because of the one that he scored off AJ this week.
Because of AJ, right? That's exactly it. He's not that good. He's not good. Yard is not a great, and Yard scored 7. I mean,
right.
And a lot of those were again off of an AJ, pass or chip through.
Right.
It's Rob Dupria, as good a player as he is not a distributor. He's not a playmaker like that.
No.
And that's a problem when your outside of your 10 are. What they are
hard ball carriers, that's what they want to be,
and fucking hard hands and hammerheads.
Yeah,
like they're not
definitely some dildo hands out there.
Yeah, like I'm kind of wondering how much. I think they're going to end up leaning extremely heavily on Tui this week.
Just because that's what's going to open see what damage you can do.
Right, and then all right, well then maybe get Rob Dupria off of him, like the next phase, like run him through to try to cut off the defense and get whatever meters he can go forward, and then spin it and hope we have having a nice easy cushion for Rob Dupria might set him up for for decent back play. But if there's pressure on Dupria, no.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. Not good. Yeah, and on the other side of the ball, the guys in Devon have some problems too.
A little bit.
They're going to be missing 2 of their big guys from the back row, second row, whatever. I would predict, because Kirsten's out, we can pretty much determine that he did not look happy coming off that.
No.
Ewers and Skinner have both been banned for 4 weeks. Baxter was bitching about that. I was like, dude, shut up. You're just mad because you're missing two. You're bigger. Listen, I love Sam Skinner. We all know I have a super duper disdain for one caveman, Dave Ewers. Ugh, Dave Ewers smash. Meh.
Right.
I fucking hate Dave Ewers. I hope he doesn't play anymore.
His yellow was worse than Skinner's red.
That's why he got banned.
Right.
That's exactly why he got banned.
And they both
Skinner got a red.
Right.
Ewers should have got a red.
Right.
They both deserve to get banned. That's how it happens.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty basic.
Yeah. And they both pleaded not guilty. It's like, what are you pleading not guilty to?
What the hell was Dave Ewers pleading not guilty to? He's lucky he didn't get sent off.
Right.
And Skinner, whatever, you're better off pleading guilty in that say. Just
exactly. You throw yourself on the mercy and you take your 3.
Yeah. So instead, he's going to miss 2 games.
Right.
What we assume will be 2 games next year, and the final 2 this year, depending on how the results shake out. But so yeah.
But we don't know about Acker. He may end up playing.
We'll see, man.
I doubt it. That didn't look.
If he starts, it'll be like 40 minutes and it'll be done.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like, what can we get out of him before he falls apart?
Yeah, and Neil got hurt too. That didn't help.
Yeah, he's out too. I think
he played 7 minutes. Jeez.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna start both Currys, right?
Jeez, anyway. I would.
So and you just kind of hope that they both play. So yeah, Neil, I get it. I'm not, and sucks that he got hurt. I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm just saying for Sale, you're going to start your Currys. And so it doesn't, the nailed injury doesn't really affect the lineup or the play on the field. I don't think nearly as much as Acker and AJ.
I hope they don't put Ross on the bench. Put Dugdale there, please. Or put Veese on the bench and start James Phillips.
Right.
And Beaumont, or something like that.
Or RDP. Oh, no, because you're going to go, I'm sorry. Jean-Luc Dupria at one lock. One lock, yep. And probably Beaumont at the other.
That'd be fine.
And then you have DDP at 8 and the Currys. And then suddenly I'm not so concerned about that lineup. In
terms of the forwards, yeah.
Right.
Their backs are just scary.
But then the Sale's been winning without. So I'm not sure how I feel about this, but
it's gonna be wild.
Exeter clearly had the advantage. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah.
In other matches, Bath took care of Northampton in what was a pretty entertaining game there.
As much as the referee tried to make it not entertaining, it was still entertaining.
Yeah, it was still entertaining. I think Hutch is back.
Yeah.
The way he skinned, I think that was Kokanasinga. Like the way he skinned him, that is the Hutch of old that we loved and miss.
And scoring while in the air on the over top of him.
That's the Hutch we want.
Yeah, that's the 100%. Hutch we want. And Grayson showed well. Grayson is, they can play without bigger. Like that's, you don't need a huge name. I mean, Grayson's not he's not no slouch. But damn, is he a capable backup? He's and an easy starter
totally in
any game. If you don't have Dan Bigger.
Yep.
But yeah, the super talented Saints team, and of course Bath. I mean, they scored 2 tries that were called back that shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I didn't agree with the lineout one that got called back. I was like, nope, give the kid his try because that's not
that defensive player.
He chose to tackle him. He chose to tackle him.
He didn't. He
He had to know he wasn't part of them all. Like, there's no reason to try and tackle him.
Right. There was no he's not the ball. He's just moving forward. There's no reason to hit him. And not only that, but then he hit him from the outside and then curled himself back inside. And that's why. Who was that? It was
the young kid, Doughty.
Oh, was it Doughty? I thought it was
that was on the edge.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Doughty.
Oh no, Doughty scored. No, I meant the shepherding. It was,
you talk about the
Bayless.
Bayless, yes.
Yeah, like he meant to hit Bayless. Bayless wasn't shielding him. Yeah, he grabbed him a little bit, but even the referee said, "Yeah, that's nothing. It's the other stuff." And that's like, you fucking moron. That was the choice.
Frustrating.
And I feel like when the if you come in and punch a ball out, that shouldn't be a knock on because you're the one who's punching it out. The player has no control.
A lot of referees will play it that way too.
It's like a rip. It's like a rip forward.
Mm-hmm. A lot of referees will play it that way too. So
so I didn't like that. I thought that was a good try that should have been allowed to stand.
Yep. But Bath do well for their fans at the Rec.
I feel like we need like there has to be a nice good middle between the England refs, like, oh fuck, who was it in this match? I can't even remember.
Tempo.
Yeah. And like a New Zealand ref who will let things like that go and be like, hey, fuck it. It was
yeah. We need a happy medium, kids.
Yeah, we need something in between that and perfect. But also I do like the Prem's emphasis on high tackles and things like that New Zealand don't do. So like, if we can keep that aspect, but get to the let the fucking play just go.
Be a good start.
Let's go there. Let's get that and fucking yes.
Yep. Yeah, but hey, I mean, Bath did well by their fans at the Rec. I think they were supposed to host the game last week too, which is unfortunate the way things that happened. So
let's just try at the end too.
That was fun.
Fucking money.
Man, where the hell does Speak come from?
Who knows?
Coach is gonna be like, hey, you gotta do that every day now.
Yeah. Well, especially with Mercer leaving, it's like, okay, well, that's your spot. That's your thing to do now.
Yeah, right.
What he was doing, that's you.
That's you, dude. So good stuff for Bath to end on.
Yeah.
And they get themselves into one of those Champions Cup places as well.
Right.
Was and Leicester both do as well with their performances from this past weekend. A lot of goodbye tries for this match. Lavanini got one, for God's sake.
Fuck yeah.
Rollins, Vailanu got one. Pretty wild. The Jacob Umaga try, that was a thing of beauty. My goodness.
He's okay, right?
Last I saw.
Yeah,
and we saw.
I don't know what happened, and maybe it was the getting a little bit fucked up in the head when you went away to the England camp, but he came back in the last couple of weeks and has just been a terror.
Yeah, he's looking like the Umaga old, which is great.
Right. That's good for Wasps, good for England, good for rugby.
Yeah, good for rugby. And then a guy that you and I both very much like, Van Poortvliet, showed out quite well in this one, getting, I think it was the assist on Montoya's try. So that was great stuff for Leicester as well. I like him a lot. And I thought their center pairing actually showed out pretty well here with Dan Kelly and Matt Scott. So credit to the two of them as well.
Yeah, they've been really holding down that center combo.
Quite good. Quite good. Who was it that chipped back into the middle on the Umaga try? Was that?
I don't know. It
was either Watson or Fekitoa. I don't remember which one it was.
I don't remember.
But yeah, it was pretty handy, just the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, Watson and Leicester both get what they want out of that match as well. And then Quins and Newcastle. Quins get what they want out of this match, which was basically a tune-up.
It was Watson, by the way, because just looking at it real quick, he had a try assist and Fekitoa didn't. So
okay, so there's your answer. But yeah, Quins get what they want out of their match back at the Stoop. They're the last one for the year. Pretty much a tune-up. Although Newcastle did try and hang around for a little while.
They did. They played hard. Like that, and yeah, that's what was one of my notes. They pushed hard, showed well, but just outclassed.
Yes,
by a team that's playing for something greater than just a bottom of the Champions Cup. That the Quins are showing that they're ready to go. Fucking
firing. So I mean, I don't think there's any mystery. As entertaining as I believe Exeter and Sale will be because of just the clash that it is, I think the most entertaining match of the weekend is definitely going to be
absolutely
Bristol.
Oh, no doubt. That Exeter Sale match is just going to be a defensive.
Yeah, it's going to be an arm wrestle, as it were.
I wish we had I wish Quins were going to Exeter, because if Quins would smush Exeter right now. I don't think they're going to. Well, we'll talk about it later, but I don't have positive feelings going into Ashton Gate.
No. Yeah, poor guys. Oops.
Right. They would have a shot, and certainly, obviously, against Sale this weekend too would have been a good matchup for them. I just obviously wasn't going to happen, but
right.
I think that would have made for a better semifinals weekend.
Yep, but
because I don't want either Quins or Bristol to leave, and I want both of Exeter and Sale to leave.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
Right. Yeah. So there we go.
All right, whip around real quick. MLR whip around. First of all, Free Jacks got it done against the Seawolves. Wasn't pretty. Scott Green was playing. Let's spin the wheel of which person's getting a penalty in the scrum.
Oh God!
What else is new?
And the AR is not. Oh no, he's laying in touch, but that's not touch.
It's like, here's the thing, and I've discovered it. MLR has definitely not empowered these ARs that are assigned to these matches to make calls and buzz in when they see something. Punches thrown, by the way, they're 9. I don't remember his friggin' name. Definitely came from the Phil Mack school of douchebaggery.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a small person and I know you can't actually eliminate me anymore because that's how rugby doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
See Faf de Klerk. So yeah, he's just being a twat for the sake of being a twat. So I was like, yep, come here. You and I are going to have a conversation. But just the same, yeah, I mean, and obviously, we thought that, the boss was watching and there's no replay on CBS Sports, but she said that on was it the Fife or the Wilson try, whatever it was, or the second Barlow try. Should have been
called back. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically it sounds like Scott Green went over to the referee, to the AR, trying to convince her to tell him that he was offsides, which is really frustrating. So Scott Green, you are not going to do the final this year. Thank fucking God.
That's bullshit.
That's horrible.
Yeah, no,
that's horrible. So, but the Free Jacks stay undefeated at home. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We got
the Heart of Jacks.
Yeah. And we got the Heart of Jacks. And we got to shake hands with Mags too, which was nice.
We did. Well, that's pumped.
He is definitely a person of the people. I will say that.
Yes. He was super happy to see us. He was like, it was, because we were just walking down the ramp. I think going over to see our Boston guys, and you're right behind me, and all of a sudden you hear you say, "Oh, hey, Alex," and I'm like, "Wait, what?" And there's Mags right there, and he's like, "Oh," and just immediately hand up, looking.
Yeah, hand up, talking. Yeah, So he's definitely a guy amongst the people, which I enjoy.
Right. And I said, I hope you guys enjoy yourselves today. All the stuff you're supposed to say.
Yep.
Right. No hesitation right there.
Oh, zero. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. In the whip around, NOLA beat TC. Boo. Austin beat Toronto, which was kind of a shocker because Toronto's played pretty well, but I guess they've kind of fallen off. Utah and San Diego. I watched this match. I will say I'm a little disappointed with the Utah staff. San Diego guy got knocked out, and JP Doyle stopped the match as soon as he realized he was knocked out. And the guys were bitching about it from Utah, and he's like, "You're not gonna complain about this because he's got a hand injury. I have to stop the match." Sorry guys, I don't care how much space you thought you had. Right. This dude's fucking KO'd at best. Yeah. We got to get this guy taken care of. So sorry guys, that's just how it works. We got to take care of somebody's health before you're fucking trying.
That's real rugby right there. That's professional rugby.
Yeah.
You
deal with it.
Stop it when a guy's hurt.
Yeah. Might have been Sean Davies.
Especially that bit.
That.
Well, then yeah.
New York beat Atlanta. That was a huge match right there. So we'll see how that shakes out going forward for the Free Jacks. They basically need to win out to take one of those spots from one of those two. And LA just trounced Houston. Houston is terrible. They are so bad. That was their first try in 3 matches. No shit. It came near the end. I was watching this match just because I had nothing else to do. I was like, all right, there's rugby on, whatever. Fuck it.
Can we talk prop tries though?
Oh, the guy from Austin. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
A distance one at that.
Yeah. A little bit of an intercept and just into his strides, looking like a mini lock loping down the field, like sometimes,
time.
Or like a Bayless, just an enlarged Bayless.
Quite.
It's one of those two where the backs from the other team do track him down. They could have had him probably 10 meters from the try line, except they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, he's so big.
It's like, okay, we've caught up to this fucking mountain. How do I attack it? What do I do?
How do I get it down?
And finally, it was all right. Well, bite ankles, and at that point, he just could slide in. But yeah, it was funny to see the backs be like, what now? We got here.
What do we do with this? What do we do with this guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no kidding. All right, let's talk a little strategy. We're coming up against some sort of time limit here, but just the same, let's talk a little bit of strategy and picking our TRM team this week. So I've done something kind of fun, and I've made a true value metric, as I call it, taking the price that they're listed at as the time that I saw them, dividing it by their points per 80. And now that's not a end all be all metric by any means whatsoever, because
it's just
guys like
metric, right?
Guys like Glenn Young end up on the right end of this one, along with like Cameron Neild, who aren't necessarily going to get you wins in this thing. So the average was like 11.7. The most common numbers are like 10 to 11, and I put it to a decimal. Highest was 30, the lowest was 4. Rafi Quirk was a 4.
Fair. Yeah.
So basically it's just like evaluating, are you getting the points for the money you're paying? But sometimes it's worth it. Like
I think this week, Sam
Simmons is at 10.8,
right?
Which again is right somewhere near the middle. And for what he does for you, that's fine.
Right. I think that this week you don't worry about costs so much because it's not as and hopefully you've got enough built up. I have a lot of my top guys at every position rolling 2 or 3 deep just because hell, what else do you need? And then especially once you get, so you need to have 28 players on your team.
Yes.
Right.
Minimum.
You can only get points from 23. So there's 5 players that you just can scrap. And at that point you find one team that you need to fill in and you get their lowest value player possible.
Right.
And you stat, and then you do that, for where you need to fill in. You should be able to start an all like just, the team of the week pretty much. If you get,
you hope, right?
Lucky. But yeah, you're going to get, the points are on offer, from everywhere. So
I'm going to give you 4 props to start 2.
Okay. Yep.
Rod, Afoa, Sinclair, Low.
So wait, where's mine? Rod, Afoa, Sinclair, Low. Okay. I think Low is I have Wilco Low at number 1 overall.
That's that he's going against the best team against props, though. That's the problem.
He is. Well, yeah, and not like Afoa and Sinclair are going against slouches either. So that's really
the middle of the pack.
But I think at this point, the points against, I'm not so worried about. These guys, when they get points, they'll still get points. And especially from a prop position, Wilco Low will get, 20 to 25 points, and Marler will probably get like 15. So it kind of, it adds up in a way. So yeah, Wilco Low is my top, followed by Afoa or Sinclair, whichever gets the start. And then Bevan Rod is my third.
Yeah, I definitely would take Bevan Rod probably in that situation, honestly. Yeah,
I mean, I think I'm starting right now on my team. I have Rod and Low as my starters with it's Harrison right now on the bench.
Right. Which team's hooker are you taking? Are you gonna take Langdon? Or are you gonna go with one of the Bristol guys?
Well, I have Cowan Dickey.
Okay. Also usually produces as well.
Right. But I also have Langdon as my backup because
I do wonder about Cowan Dickey's knee.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have him now. I did a thing where like as soon as you could drop players, I think it was even
like Saturday night.
Once the game started. No, the game. I think the games were. Yeah, it was Saturday night. I dropped everybody who wasn't playing anymore, and I picked up a bunch of guys. So Luke Cowan-Dickey, I figured they're investments, right? He's gone up 2K, and I know that's not much, but in the end, maybe by Friday, people will have picked him up. And then if I don't want him anymore, well, I've made 5K.
Yeah, probably.
Right. That's an extra. And if I did that all down my team, I mean, right now I'm up to an extra 11K.
Yep.
Just from that. And that's, it's been a couple days, but it's going to get higher as people start picking up the guy, people start actually fiddling with their lineups. So, that's kind of where I went.
For the locks, are you starting a true lock at lock?
I mean, I Jean-Luc Dupria and I'm assuming Chris Vui will be starting. Yes. And I would also think Levis would be an option too, potentially. And Johnny Hill, because the thing about it is, the loose forwards, you get a point for every 8 meters, but locks are every 2.
Okay.
So if you're looking at meters carried and carriers like Levis, Hill, Vui, and Dupria, those are the guys who are going to get you the same meters, whether they're playing lock or flank, and that's 4 times the points from meters made. So
right. So JLDP in a back row might be something that interests you then. Or even like, what if Sean Lonsdale starts this weekend, which is a complete possibility with Exeter's problems.
It is. I'm still like, yeah, but it's still going to be Johnny Hill at the other lock. So I'm going with Johnny Hill.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just throwing shit out there.
Right. But I mean,
but Lonsdale is flanker eligible though.
True. But I mean, you're still looking at a week with, Sam Simmons. So you already that's one flank position that's gone.
Yep.
Alex Dombrant has to be on your team.
Mm-hmm.
That's another position that's gone. And then you have like your Ben Earls, Dan Dupria. I don't think you'd go down that far. I mean, I even have Capstick on my team in case because I think if he plays, he'll rack up points. That's more of a direction I would go if I'm looking at Exeter.
Yeah.
Especially because Capstick is super fucking cheap and
it
helps you free up. Like, now you have another 100K player you can pick up somewhere else and add points or add value somewhere else.
Yep. A Bristol scrum half or Danny Kerr?
Danny Kerr. I mean, didn't we see what Danny Kerr did against Bristol already?
Yeah, he's had his days.
Yeah,
he's had his days again.
I think he didn't strip Ben Earl and score a try
something like that
in one motion. Yeah, I trust because you also got to figure that Randall and Urine are only going 40.
Yeah,
if I'm,
effect, right?
I don't think either one. Put it this way, I don't think either are getting 60 minutes, which is a big bonus for TRM.
Yep.
And the same goes for Jack Maunder and Stu Townsend. They're not going. They're not going 60. Well, Maunder might go 60. I don't know.
Stu Townsend produces more in the time he's on there.
Yeah. Right. So that's the other thing. That's why it's like, go either one, but I wouldn't put either of them or Faf de Klerk on my team.
Nope.
It's basically, I'm going to have Danny Kerr. And actually you only need one scrum half because you can put a fly half at that
other bench spot. Yeah.
Let me see what that other bench spot is.
It's a 9 or a 10.
Yeah. Right. So at that point, yeah, I'm not like
you'd have Smith, Simmons, and Sheedy and put 2 of them on the bench.
Right.
You really want to.
So you really only I would struggle to not just have Danny Kerr on my team.
Yep. Fly half. Smith, Simmons, Sheedy.
Yep. And then Dupree 4.
Yeah.
Do not pick.
Yep, not great. Not great at all. So do you what are you looking at for centers really? Like, are you looking at back threes that you can shove into the center? Or are you trying to pick true centers?
I mean, I like Marchant anyway,
right,
to score. So he's my number 1 overall at the center wing fullback area.
Okay.
Pietau's number 2, and then Radradro's 3.
Okay.
And then it's at that point that I'm looking at some back 3 guys. I mean, obviously Pietau's in there too, but then O'Flaherty and Hogg are my nexts. I don't know that I have Manu Tuilagi in my top 10 and Ollie Devoto. Okay. And
I like Devoto. I do like Devoto. I think he's got a good matchup, and he's not as expensive as Slade.
The thing is, though, he gets his points. I think he's like the number 1 if you look at the centers or something like that, or even, and if he plays all the positions, something crazy. The thing about him is he just scores like 18, like 12 to 18 every match, and he plays every match. So that just shoots his score way up. Every so often he goes over 20, but I would go Slade over Devoto. I'd pay the extra money.
Oof.
and pay for the anti-vaxxer.
Fucking psychopath.
Yeah. But yeah, Tuilagi's on my list because I think they use him to pound and he'll get yards. I don't know.
So O'Flaherty's probably your top Exeter back. Does Facundo make the list if he's starting? Or would you rather have Joe Simmons?
I'm going to have Joe Simmons. I'm going Smith at 10 and Simmons at 15.
There you go.
And Simmons might get the K. 'Cause I think he might be busy.
He's probably going to be busy. Yeah, he's probably going to be a lot busier than Marcus. Not to
exactly.
Say that.
Like I think Marcus will score outside of that. And yeah.
Oof, yeah. So it's a fun time, kids.
Yeah.
Hang on to your hats. Okay, real quick whip around. As I mentioned earlier, George took home our Super Rugby FRD. He beat Justin in a pretty good final, 177 to 120.
Yeah. And the Stacko in that wasn't half bad either. I will say I put up a good fight.
188 to 150. Yeesh.
Yeah. It was not. That was a hell of a Sacco matchup right there.
Yeah, for a Sacco, that's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, Talia, Banks. Oh, Sebu Reese. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Right.
Oh, Harry Wilson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, sexy.
Yeah, I was happy with that. I got to pick him up.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. Yeah. Oh, geez. Freaking Carrick had Jody Barrett. That's why.
Right.
That explains that.
Yeah. Carrick played very well. He had a good lineup there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch. It's pretty good stuff. Some dickhole won the other one.
Damn it. And that was a hell of a matchup.
Listen, I was at halftime. I was down in both. I was like, son of a bitch, I'm getting tonked in both, aren't I? And yours turned out real easy because of Sam Skinner. The other one, I did not think I had a shot at. I was like, nope, no shot in the dark.
Right.
Caden Murley played like he started Caden Murley, which I have no idea why, because he actually wasn't starting, but I guess he was in a pinch.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know what to tell you, man. It happened.
Right.
Wigglesworth that won our U.S. league as well.
Mm-hmm.
And our podcast league in Super Rugby was won by Leanu, who has put his hand up for the D2 Champions League next year. So good introduction to you there, nice. Sir Dutois, as well.
Yeah.
I had another miserable week in TRM. 380.
So Jared had to sit there on Friday while I was after work, let's say, and looking and completely roster baiting to my TRM team.
Yeah, it was a good one. Radwan was one I didn't even think of. I was like, why the fuck didn't I grab him?
Well, yeah, some asshole put a Radwan in my ear, and I was like, you know what? He's been scoring, and he's going up against a team that should let him score. So.
And they did, and he's also super talented on top of all that.
Well, that too.
Yeah, I think Acker burned a lot of people, though.
Hello. I had McGuigan on the bench, so that kind of evens out in a way, because at least I had like a real score at one point.
Yeah, he scored quite well.
Like even like 23 off the bench. Like I'll take it. You know, I would if my
that's a good score to just throw into your regular hooker spot anyway. So
right. So if I had a 23 from the starter and an 8 from the reserve, I'd be happy with that. So there it is. Except the reverse. So
except the inverse.
Right. I've made a terrible mistake. Should have started McGuigan.
They go both ways. Yes, Ted. That's the joke.
But yeah, my prop decision was easy. So. Ellis Genge helped. He has been dynamite down the stretch. So that's part of he's been the huge reason for my rise through the ranks.
I mean, geez.
I mean, I just made some, again, roster rating here, made just some fantastic decisions down the stretch with, but that's hey, I got lucky. Jean-Luc Dupria, Ellis Genge,
GLDP has been a beast.
Radwan this week, McGinty scored well. And he was on my bench. Umaga was on my bench. Like the guys, I just had guys scoring points for me, so I'll take it.
Yeah, winner.
Yeah, picked right. Got lucky.
Pick I've got a 3-game lead on you, buddy.
Fucking A. I don't like this. There's only 3 games left.
4
games left.
4. So you might have to pick a couple opposite me, buddy.
Okay.
This might be the one chance for you to legitimately pick opposite and have a shot. Blues Highlanders.
You go first, fucker.
I'm gonna take the home team. I'm gonna take the Blues.
Fuck. All right. Well, then I'm going Highlanders because I have to. Because I think there's definitely one match that we're gonna agree on.
Yeah.
On the other side. So.
Yep. Bristol Quins.
Bristol.
Yeah. And then Exeter Sale.
I have to take Sale.
Yeah.
It's not that I think they're going to win, but I just have to.
Yeah. I believe there is a shot that Sale have. Like, if they can double what they did last week, there's absolutely a chance that they take this match. But I'm just not sure what they do without AJ. I'm really not. Yeah.
I'm struggling with that. But again, these are defensive teams, and this is going to be a heavily defensive game.
It's gonna be a fucking
and really the forwards, the Exeter are going to be down some key forwards. Like
Guys they've leaned on for a while. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if Vermeulen's healthy either.
Exactly. So, I think it's going to be Capstick out there. It could be Lonsdale out there.
Armin probably.
Armin will be out there. Yep. So if not starting, he'll be on the bench. That's not the Exeter team that you're used to seeing so much.
Yeah. If they're missing the max number of guys, which is Kirsten, Vermeulen, Ewers, and Skinner, you're probably going to have Lonsdale in there. I don't know if Gray's healthy still. So
I'm not sure.
Up in the air as well. So yeah, you'll probably have Lonsdale in the second row, and you'll probably have Capstick and Armand flanking Simmons.
Wow. And then who's your reserves at that point?
I have no idea.
So that's big because Acker might not play, but
Langdon's a serviceable player.
He absolutely is. That's not that big a drop off. Right. No disrespect to Acker there, but Langdon has picked it up just fine.
He did well when Acker was hurt. So
right, and then again we talked about the nailed injury and AJ really hurts. That does. That's but again, he gets their backs moving. I think they can still win this game without that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Again, they still played the hell of it. Those hammerheads out there who can't do shit in attack still can defend like motherfuckers. So, and they're that's the strength of the Sale team is defense.
Yeah, I think Sanderson
shocking
knows that
with
too.
That coach.
So big weekend overall in sports too. There's lots going on here.
Yeah,
Euro's going on. US Opens this weekend. So yeah, I'm
with the cicadas.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to be, I've got one thing to take care of Saturday morning, and then I'm going to be enjoying my sports for the weekend after that. That'll be it.
Indeed.
So yeah. Well, that'll do it for us and the long-windedness that we do quite well sometimes. But we do appreciate you guys hanging out with us and just following along all year. And it's been a grind, but we're almost there, kids.
We are.
We're almost there, kids.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, thank you much. We'll probably do a bit of time off, and then we'll do like a Lions test special at some point as well.
Oh, that would be fun.
That way we're not totally missing out on that.
Maybe we can do like a live watch or something.
Yeah, something like that. We'll see how live it is.
Yeah.
But
24 hours.
Yeah, nope, never again. Ever again. No, thank you. But we do appreciate you guys for hanging out with us and just interacting with us and being cool about it. And no free Jacks match this weekend, so we can't see any of you that want to hang out. But
I see the rest though.
Yeah, right. Next week, back at it. Nola comes to town. So we will be back next week as usual. Be a shorter pod, I promise.
Yes, much shorter.
But until then, get at Ben or I. We'll try and do something on Friday for
we'll
Saturday
put out our rankings at least.
Yeah, that'll be a good idea.
Yeah.
So until then, thanks for hanging out with us. Tweet at Ben or I, fancyrugbypodcast@gmail.com. Do what you gotta do. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
Later.
Cheers.